Champions League winners PSG will go up against Europa League winners Tottenham Hotspur in the UEFA Super Cup final this Wednesday. Coverage begins at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. You can watch it on Paramount Plus and the CBS Sports Network. Now, PSG and Tottenham seasons last year, they couldn't have been more different, and yet they both lifted the trophy in their respective competitions. The Champions League title for PSG really solidified a strong season for them. Meanwhile, for Tottenham, it really saved what was a poor season for them. PSG ended with 48 wins and just 9 losses, whereas Spurs won 26 matches and also lost another 26 matches. Now, ahead of this matchup on Wednesday, there has been a big shakeup for this PSG side. They just completed the signing of 23-year-old French goalkeeper Lucas Chevalier from Lille, and this does come on the heels of reports that PSG and goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma can't come to contract negotiations. So we don't know what's happening with Donnarumma heading into this new season. So how much does this kind of master shake things up for this PSG side, who could potentially have a new goalkeeper coming into the season?
Yeah, I think it could shake it up. It could be his last game. For Donnarumma, if he does get to start here. Who knows at this point? But Chevalier looked like someone that was really impressive, making the best 11 for Ligue 1. It'll be very interesting to see. And also, it's a fresh body for them because they pretty much have everything else that they could potentially ask for. They didn't really need much this summer window. So goalkeeper is really the only question mark that this team has going into this game.
Is this a bit disappointing for you, Nico, seeing the potential exit of Donnarumma and a potential new starting goalkeeper for PSG?
I'm not surprised that a club as big as PSG went after a goalkeeper like Lucas Chevalier because he was extraordinary last season, not only in Champions League, which is what you're watching right now, but in Ligue 1 as well, like Master mentioned. I am surprised, though, after the season that Donnarumma had, that they want to pivot away from him, because I don't think you go get Lucas Chevalier to be your backup, right?
Yeah,
he plays for the French national team, or he's good enough to be on the French national team. Obviously, there's a dispute there with Mike Maignan to see who's the number one. It's probably more likely Maignan. Regardless, this is a big moment for this kid.
He's 23 years old. In a goalkeeper's lifespan, that is incredibly young.
Stepping up to the plate off a PSG side that's coming off the treble. So you know expectations are at another level now. And then you step into that?
Yeah. Wait, hold up. 23 years is how many in goalkeeper years?
I don't know.
How many years is that? You're the goalkeeper.
I don't know.
He's like 19 in goalkeeper years?
Yeah, something like that. I would say 19's probably a pretty good comparison.
I think you need to divide by 1/8 and then times it by
and do this.
3/4.
12,
yeah.
19.
No.
Okay, 19, we'll go with it.
Divisible by pi, and if it's not, then you get your goalkeeper number.
Nico,
goalkeeper
too much
talk
math.
here.
Come on. We can have hot takes, but not math here so early in the morning. Well, listen, PSG, they were able to be defeated by Chelsea in the Club World Cup. So anything is possible heading into this competition on Wednesday. So, Master, we are going to get into our Xfinity Fast Track to Victory and see potentially how this Tottenham side, will be able to be on the fast track to potential victory against PSG. So hit us with the ways that they can do that.
Number 3 reason why I think Tottenham can beat PSG, and that is PSG fatigue. Wednesday will mark 1 month since the Club World Cup final, and they didn't have a break in between the Champions League final and the start of the Club World Cup. I think I saw Luis Enrique on his bike once. I don't know how much time this team spent in the south of France, but this team has also not had a chance to ramp up in the way that Tottenham has, where they've had 6 friendlies trying to get adjusted and accustomed to Thomas Frank, his new tactics, and the uncertainty that PSG has preparing for this team. That is my number 3 reason. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
valid.
we're going to start seeing how Club World Cup will affect a lot of these teams, including, for example, Real Madrid, who only just started their preseason a week ago.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll get our answer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not Wednesday for Super Cup. Maybe it does come a little bit
It might
down
hit
the
him
line.
a little later. I think mental fatigue is another side of it too, just not being able to unplug. And obviously the physical side of things is such an impact. And we talk about schedule congestion, whatever you want in that sense. But to not be able to step away for an extended period of time, I think that checks out. I see it could work.
The heat alone from the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
I was on my couch for 3 weeks eating ice cream and just detoxing from that heat. So I can only imagine what PSG and the players who are actually doing something. I was just standing on the sideline. I can only imagine what they had to do to recharge from what was a gruesome summer. Number 2, This one's a bit of a curveball. It comes with the Thomas Frank tactics. The manager, I think they made a good decision. At first, I was skeptical of firing Big Ange, but Thomas Frank is a manager that I'm a big fan of, and the big reason why is because of set pieces. We saw the success of set pieces from Brentford. They were they were fourth in most goals scored last season. Brentford was in set pieces, and we got a little taste of that in some of these friendlies, particularly in the North London derby, where Tottenham looked very dangerous on corners and set pieces. When you have Pedro Porro and the service that he gives off corners, and also with Mohamed Kudus as well on free kicks, I think this is an opportunity for them. They're going to be one of the better teams, I truly believe, in the Premier League on not just only set pieces, but also defending set pieces, which is not something you could say of previous Tottenham teams. What do you guys think?
I think there was a method to the madness going on in Brentford. If he can replicate that at Spurs.
I don't think we're giving enough credit to PSG defensively on set pieces by any means. If you're saying that Tottenham's just going to be able to come in, have a little bit of coaching in the set piece area, and then be able to score pretty effectively on that, it also comes down to disorganization defensively, and we don't see that from PSG, no matter who they have playing in goal in this match either.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Of course, like PSG defensively are lions. Marquinhos, Pacho, 100%. Like Tottenham's gonna have to have their work cut out for them, but I'm intrigued on this set piece narrative for Spurs if they can get better, especially where in North London they're like Arsenal, the set piece kings, right? Again, method to the madness. At Brentford, there was something working really well with Thomas Frank, with the style of players, with the message that he was sending to them and what he wanted to get out of them, clearly coached in the right way. And it feels like that's a little bit refreshing, given that at Spurs, oftentimes there was a lot of madness and the method was kind of lost a little bit.
Executing on set pieces is something so finite that has to be drilled in so perfectly. Yesterday, I got to do a watch along with Kelly O'Hara, and she started talking about how during the lead up to the 2019 Women's World Cup, how much the U.S. women's national team practiced set pieces. She was like, we would go out for an hour and a half, and that's all we would do, set pieces. And we would run it back and say, you're standing on this blade of grass. You need to actually be standing on this one. The detail that the U.S. went into leading into that World Cup just on set pieces, I don't think you can execute in such a short amount of time while you're also trying to figure out different pieces, who's going to play where, you have new tactics that you're being brought in. It's just such a small detail in a game that takes time to perfect.
Wow, on Wednesday morning Footy group chat is going to be so lit when there's a corner kick goal by Tottenham.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Nicky Van de Ven, he's going to score. Pedro Porro on the service. You hear it first. I can't believe I'm caving for Tottenham. But hey, I'm an equal opportunity lover and a hater.
Left turn.
And the number one reason behind all this, you did mention the fact that how organized PSG is, but we didn't see that in the Club World Cup final. We saw Chelsea taking advantage on the counter and finding the fullbacks out of position, and that is another opportunity where Thomas Frank can take advantage is on the counterattacks. They were top 6 in counterattacks last season. Brentford was under Thomas Frank, and this would be a huge area of emphasis for Tottenham as well here. There are some opportunities, being able to catch them out of position, being able to try and find the one goal there. Can they potentially do a smash and grab, which is very difficult to do because obviously PSG did lead Europe with the most goals scored last season. But counterattacking is going to be another emphasis under Thomas Frank in this Tottenham side here, and a great opportunity to try and expose some of that with how forward these fullbacks to PSG will go.
Agree?
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Of all of them, I think that's probably the strongest one for Tottenham.
Any team that plays against PSG, right, you got to consider that option as one of your main threats of attack, because PSG really like to dictate the game, and when they don't have the ball, they suffocate you, and they're one of the best teams in the world. I feel like they're one of the best teams in the world of getting the ball back, but I feel like we're so fresh from that loss to Chelsea that we're seeing PSG in like a negative light right now for some reason. It's like, oh, exposed on the gegenpressing, right? But hold up. They did an entire year of having teams like this whenever they lost the ball that would get it back. So I tend to think of PSG more of that team that can get it done. So we'll see if they bounce back from that Chelsea loss. It's almost embarrassingly so, the way that they got outplayed. But they are a team that when they lose the ball, they don't even offer you an ability to counterattack. And if Spurs can, like Chelsea, find a way to...
It has to be immediate. The first pass has to be progressive. It has to be positive, and you have to go as fast as you can.
A lot of passing out of the back for Tottenham as well, so it could present opportunities for PSG to get some of those easy goals. But hey, I made my case.
Hey.
I rest my case, Your Honor.